what a victory!
It's finally here. Formula One in 2024.
The wait is over in Bahrain, and we are just hearing that the starting grid is on the look for a new driver. Who will it be?
I'm having trouble trying to sleep. I'm counting shit.
And radio is good.
Here we go.
The Grand Prix is underway.
What a dramatic start. Can you believe it?
I just feel like they're gonna bleed.
Yes!
Spawn out of my
Oh, he's lost it.
I'm out, guys. That's it.
The pit lane's going to be alive now. They're all in.
on my own. Here we go. Mind is set on an overdrive. On my own. Here we go.
It's not every day that we get to see such incredible wheel-to-wheel racing.
Out of the final corner. And here's our winner today.
Can you beat me?
What a race. Thank you very much for that. Thank you to the fans.
Apologies, everyone. I did not have my settings correct. We've been gone away for so long. I did not notice that it was not working right. Thank you to Hayden for pointing that out. So, we are in Bahrain tonight. Apologies for missing the start here. So, we got Some Good Salt out in front. Iron Tie, Boogie, Ao, Zaluxi. So next up, we're going to check out Vans. Vans doing a personal best first sector. Oh, spins it. Saves it. Oh, almost hits the wall there. Vans get himself collected as McLaren's coming around behind him. Might have had a commentator curse on that one. Vans coming into the pits. Let's go check out. Currently looks like Boogie also coming into the pits. Let's see who's out on track right now. We got a Ferrari. Looks like that might be Hayden. Stay on board with Hayden here as he comes around. Starts his flying lap. Finishing up that first sector, personal best. Hayden setting another personal best in the second sector. Coming around to the final corners. Zeros pushes them up to P2 with a 128.879. It's a great run there for Hayden. Let's check out. Looks like Mr. Chris, purple, first sector. Let's head down to him. Purple, middle sector. As he's coming around. Mr. Chris with a 127.329. Puts him P1 ahead of Some Good Salt, who is our champion from last season. Looks like Dynamic might be setting a time here. The 132.245. Looks like Pixelin may have crashed out, is retired out. So let's go head on down to the next car, Dragonflies, one of our reserves for the season. Covering the seat for the Williams. He's currently on an outlap. Or is he not? Nope, he's putting down personal best, so he should be setting a time this lap. Moves up to P4 with a 129.147. Looks like Modern Tie may have invalidated his current lap. Vans taking personal best middle sector. See if he can improve. Proves a time. P10. Looks like the other Haas of Modern is behind him. Let's go with Modern real quick. Modern up on this personal time in the first sector. Looks like we got a car off up ahead. Zaluxy putting in a purple sector 1. Personal best for Modern sector 2. Coming down that back straight. Zaluxy coming around the finals of sector 2. Stay on board here with Modern, see what he can do. Moves up to P4. Zaluxy getting through some traffic, flying. A little bit of a lockup. Keeps it on the track. P2 for Zaluxy, 127.572. That is a massive improvement. Looks like Modern might be going for another run here. Let's head down to Modern again. Nope. Invalidated. Purple first sector, but invalidated the lap, unfortunately. So Zaluxy taking a shortcut through the S's there. Let's see who else we got on track. Looks like Vans might be going for another one. Not up. Oh, invalidated. AO. Personal best in the first sector. Around that tricky turn 10. Got a slower moving Zaluxy up ahead, but Zaluxy should get out of the way. No problem with AO. AO going through turn 11 there. Finishing up sector 2. Unfortunately, did not improve in that middle sector. Let's see what AO can do come across the line here. See if they can improve from P8. It's the hammer down, gets close to the wall. Fortunately, still P8. Looks like Mr. Chris is going to be trying to put his stamp on how he's going here. I think this is... He was almost putting a fastest middle sector, and it's... I believe it's his outlap. Yeah, he's not setting a time right now. He's on an outlap. C9 is currently out on track. We got a turned around Ferrari there. Looks like that might be Hayden up in that corner there. All right. We'll stay on board here with Mr. Chris, see what he can do on his last flying lap. Finishing up that first sector. The fastest first sector. Ooh, heavy lockup. Keeps it going. Around the tricky turn 10. What's the hammer down? DRS is open. About to finish sector 2, another purple sector. 2/10 faster than his fastest time. Around that final corner. Mr. Chris setting the bar again, a 1:26.984. Looks like Dragonflies trying to put down a lap here. He has crossed the line, P6. Looks like the only dynamic. Let's see where he's at. Crossed the line, 1:29.552. So that is qualifying for this evening. And we will head back to our intermission screen. As qualifying wraps up here. So we got Mr. Chris on the pole. Followed by Zluxy, Some Good Salt, Hayden, Modern Tie, Dragonflies, Boogie, Dynamic, AO, C9, Vans, and Pixelin at the end there. Get our screenshot. Now everybody's going to be setting their strategies. Let's go through here. Get our more recent grid graphic here for Season 4, Race 1. And here is your grid. Let's talk to the guys in there. What time is it? Tell the team that we're going to 8:30. All right, so again, Mr. Chris setting fastest time, Zaluxy P2, Salt P3, Aiden P4. Somebody readied up. Hold on. All right. Well, I guess we won't be doing that. Let's get to the actual formation lap now. So unfortunately, somebody rated up and did not let everybody set their strategies. Super frustrating. So we'll go through the running order here. It's Mr. Chris, followed by Zaluxy, Some Good Salt, Hayden Rogers, Modern Tie, Dragonflies, Boogie, Dynamic, AO, C9, Vans, and then Pixelin. As the cars are making their way around the back, we're getting ready here to go racing. Back of the grid getting set. Weather for tonight's gonna be clear. Easy peasy. Lights go out and we are away. Mr. Chris making his way over to block off Zaluxy. Zaluxy getting the inside of Mr. Chris. Looks like we made it cleanly through for everybody. Zaluxy staying right on the tail of Mr. Chris. Oh, yeah, cargo way off in the back there. I believe that is Vans. AO with a 10-second penalty for a heavy collision with Pixelin. Heavy braking for Zaluxy, staying right with Mr. Chris. Oh, we got a little bit of a shuffle in the back there. Looks like Dragonflies might have gotten into somebody there. Let's check out what's going on towards the back here with this large group. Our championship winner from last season. I apologize for our graphics not being correct. Looks like we had an issue with some data collection. Hayden leading this next group. Game is saying it's going to be a 2-stop or a 3-stop. We'll see how everyone handles it tonight. We got a car that's stopped out on track. Looks like that might be Vans. Let's go check on them real quick. Pixelin is out. Looks like may have crashed. Virtual safety car is deployed. This car is gone. We weren't able to catch that. Dragonflies sticking really close there to Hayden. Virtual safety car should be ending pretty quickly here, as Pixelin is out of the race. So we are back to racing. On board with Salt here as he is falling behind Dragonflies, being led by Hayden. With heavy braking going into that turn there. Got your leader, Mr. Chris and Luxy, fighting it out. Fortunately, Hayden is at slight disadvantage here to Dragonflies as he is on the medium compared to Dragonflies soft. Oh, big clip there. Oh, unfortunate. Dragonfly is unfortunately being contact there. See as he comes around if he's going to pit. Nope. Looks like he's going to keep going. Crazy incident there. All right, so let's go back up to the rest of the group here. I think that might have been Boogie that got tangled up with him. So let's go on up to hang out here with Hayden as he hunts down Dynamic. Hayden on the mediums. Dynamic on the softs. DRS flap is open. Hayden going to the inside. See if he can hold it. Safety car is deployed. Oh, tough break for Hayden. We got a safety car deployed. Looks like there is a Haas that's not moving. Looks like Vans, unfortunately, is out. AO should be coming up to where the incident was. Passes where Vans was. Vans is out. So we have a safety car, which is going to neutralize the field. Everybody's going to come together. More than likely, people are going to be pitting. Possibly. Let's check on the let's check on tire wear for everybody. Looks like front runners pretty even across the board, right around 20% for their tire wear. Salt's got some really good wear in the front, pretty bad in the back though for his. C9 got some really big wear in the back, and so does Dragonflies. So let's take a look at the field here as everybody's coming around to the safety car. The big changes for tonight's race was Zluxy up 1, Mr. Chris down 1, Dynamic up 5. Huge move. So we got Zluxy coming into the pits. And I believe Mr. Chris right behind. This actually might be huge. Let's see if Dynamic also comes in. He does, which means the Mercedes are actually going to be double stacking. Not bad, not bad. Mr. Chris got out of there just in time for Dynamic to come in. So far, it looks like everyone has pitted. Yep. Everyone pitted. Looks like AO pitted about 3 laps ago to go on mediums. So he's just going to have to catch up to the rest of the field. So, as we go through the order here, we've got Zluxy P1, Mr. Chris in P2, Hayden P3, Myron Ty P4. He's not on the mediums. Dynamic P5. Some Good Salt, our previous championship leader from season 3, is back in P6. C9 and P7. Boogie P8. Dragonflies, our reserve drivers, back in P9. And AO bring us up in P10. It's got a lot of time to catch up to the field up ahead. I apologize again, our graphics are slightly goofed up. As you can see, we're on lap 6 of 0, which is incorrect. It should be a 25 lap race. Actually, let me pull that down real quick. We'll take a look at the actual in-game ones. In-game 29 laps. I apologize. So it is 29 laps. Oh, AO. Oh, AO breaks his wing. Buddy. That's unfortunate. So, AO's probably going to have to pit again. He just got onto those hards, too. He just pitted. I don't believe he'll catch up in time to when the field starts back up again. Safety car coming around. Let's see what AO does here. He's going to have to pit because he broke his wing. Spinning out there. Let's see if he changes that again, keeps going. We're going to see if he retires. That is his prerogative. Change out the wing. Unfortunately, that makes a 7.4 pit stop. Coming on out. Great opportunity now for everyone to start recharging their batteries. Everybody's at full battery. Modern Thai and AO are the only two cars on the mediums. Unfortunately, our tire graphic doesn't work right because it's thinking it's a different track. So the wear on that graphic is incorrect. This may be a late safety car call, or we got another lap. Looks like we got another lap. Giving another opportunity for AO to catch the field. So far, only warnings so far. Any penalties that were given have been served in the pit stops. So as everybody's making their way around, trying to get temperature into the tires, as you can see, here we've got our tire temperatures. Zluxy keeping it in the green. So is Chris. Hayden getting a little cold there on one of them. Modern Thai's tires are very cold. Dynamic, Salt, and C9 keeping their tires nice and toasty. Boogie's a little cold. And the reason you want to keep those tire temperatures up is so that when we do go back to racing, they will have the proper grip. If you start racing and the tires are too cold, you're going to slip and slide, and no one's going to be able to get the power down. Keep up with Zluxy as the race restarts. So safety car is still going around. Safety car is in this lap. So Zluxy's going back up the field a bit. See how Zluxy pulls away here. Nice, clean restart. Boogie with a warning in the back. Going a little wide there. Mr. Crisp going for a move on the inside. Up to P1. Dragonflies sticking right to the back of Some Good Salt. Head back up the field a little bit. Oh, big contact there between the leader and Zluxy. Mr. Chris getting T-boned, it looked like, from Zluxy. Big incident there. See how much damage that did to the cars. Let's go check out. So Mr. Chris is up to, or down to P6, I should say. Looking at what information we can. Nothing too severe on Mr. Chris. But Zluxy, I would be surprised if Zluxy doesn't have front wing damage. Huh. No visible damage there. Not really seeing anything extreme on the on the data that we're getting. So, Zaluxy with all to do to try to get back up to the front. Mr. Chris also needs to make up quite a bit of room. The big winner from that whole kerfuffle is Mr. Hayden. Up in front there, P1. We're on lap 10 of 29 here in Bahrain. Ooh, Zaluxy getting a corner cut warning. Hayden moving to the inside, trying to break that DRS. Iron Tie hanging right with him. That rear wing opening up. Adding roughly about 12 miles per hour to the car that has the DRS active. Again, Hayden moving to the inside, trying to break that DRS. Iron Tie going for the move on the inside. Let's see if he can stick it. Leaving enough room between each other. Oh, Iron Tie back to P2. Oh, gets into the back of Hayden. Iron Tie, big hit to the back there. I think it might have just been that Hayden couldn't put the power down and Byron had no way to go. Smacked into the back of Hayden there. He's got to gather himself before we keep going. Ooh, little love tap there from Dragonfly. Iron Tie is going to be pushing hard to get back up to that front. Mr. Chris right behind his teammate. Let's see if they work together. Mr. Chris is the faster of the two drivers. Ideally, they would just work together, not fight. Stay with Salt and Hayden. Again, the story for Mr. Chris was he started P1 battling with Zaluxy. Now was in P4. Getting past his teammate there. That's a good teammate move. Watching in the Discord, you could actually see Mr. Chris and Dynamic working very well together. Mr. Chris going on the inside of Hayden. Can't make it stick. Comes across, makes a little bit of contact there with Hayden. DRS wings are wide open. But as I was saying, in the Discord, both of the Mercedes drivers working very closely together to really work on strategy and setups. They didn't do much for tonight because this is a preseason race and the points don't matter. But it's great to see that they are working together as a team. They're going to apply that for this season. They will definitely be a force to be reckoned with. DRS is open on the whole train. Salt trying to stay ahead of everybody. Keeping that gap large up ahead. Closing in on Hayden here. More than likely going to use that DRS. Now the gap ahead. Hayden does have DRS to defend, but Mr. Chris is hauling. Mr. Chris moving to the inside. Up and past Hayden. Hayden shovels to the inside. Heavy braking. Sticks with him. Mr. Chris up to P2 on lap 13 of 29. Got a bit of a battle in the back there. Modern Tie making his way up past Dragonflies. Heavy braking. You can see the tire smoke still there. The group up ahead. Mr. Chris getting around Some Good Salt. Coming down to the tricky turn 10. Zaluxy hanging with him. Hayden moving to the inside of Salt. Can't make it stick. Stays with him though, all while Dynamic hanging out right behind. Try to scoop up that third position if anything happens with Hayden. DRS wings open, hitting 194 miles per hour. We're up to turn 1. Heavy braking for everybody to make it cleanly through. Battery-wise, looks like Hayden and Mr. Chris are relatively even on battery, whereas Some Good Salt has lots of battery left. He's been saving that quite a bit. Dynamic has a full battery, able to deploy. Let's just verify that real quick. Let's go on board with him and check his battery here. Yep, 98%. He's running, oh, neutral and deploying. But he is not using any battery because he's able to stay with that group and use his DRS and save that battery. He's going to be able to deploy that later. We're on lap 14 of 29 here in Bahrain. The group is leveling out pretty much. They're all still within DRS of each other. Looks like Zaluxy back here has gotten past Dragonflies, hunting down Modern Thai. We know Zaluxy has the pace. Using that DRS. Zooming right past Modern Thai. Now it's a matter of catching that group up ahead. Dragonfly is also getting past Modern Thai. All while a battle between AO and Boogie happening in the back. And C9. Looks like both the kicks are together, defending off Boogie in the McLaren. Zaluxy's got less than 3 seconds to make up to Dynamic in that front group. Keep an eye on that time, see if it continues to drop down. Go on board again with Mr. Chris. Gap is staying relatively the same between everybody. Whoa, Mr. Chris ghosted there through Some Good Salt. Pretty sure ghosting was turned off, so it'll be interesting to see what happened there. It might have been a netcode issue. Mr. Chris up to P1, getting past Salt. Apologize, everyone. Tonight's stream is not going as best as possible. We had a few technical difficulties at the beginning. Currently, we're having some difficulties, but the racing is still going good. And we got some really good battles happening. Salt sticking with Dynamic falling back out of that DRS range. He's having to use that battery. As you can see, he's down to 44%, trying to catch that 3-pack back up again. Top 3 all within DRS. Dynamic falling just outside the DRS detection zone. Zaluxy less than 2.5 back from Dynamic, as the leaders are coming down the straightaway, starting lap 17 of 29. Heavy braking from Hayden. Gets on the inside there of Salt. Can't make it stick, but he's still accelerating so hard. There's a warning there for Hayden. Breaking into turn 4. Salt gets a little bit of a better run, but Hayden's right there. Salt getting the better run out of that corner. Up to P1. But Mr. Chris is on the inside. Let's see if they leave a space. They do leave a space. Oh, Mr. Chris trying to do the over-under. Couldn't do it because Hayden was right there on the apex. They keep going. Zaluxy getting past Dynamic. Making great time. Trying to catch back up to that field. We're going to have a little bit of a DRS train, but props to Zaluxy within DRS of Hayden in P3. That rear wing's going to pop open. They're all hunting down Mr. Chris. Salt going to the inside of Chris. Heavy braking. Maintains the position. Hayden getting right up on the backside. No! Salt spins it. Hayden spins it and clips into Salt. Salt continues to go on, but Hayden has that front damage. All the while. Oh, no. Dynamic braking heavily into turn 4. Slightly collects Salt. Hayden does have front wing damage, 66% on the right front of that wing. As you can see, that end plate is gone. Unfortunately, the maneuvers to avoid collecting other cars resulted in him collecting Salt and breaking that front wing. He is probably going to have to pit. Got about 11 laps left in the race. Hayden's going to have a little bit of a hill to climb, especially if he's going to pit and replace that front wing. But let's head back up to the front here. Zaluxy and Dragonflies, the big winners of that little incident there where Salt lost his grip and Hayden lost his grip. Zaluxy and Dragonfly is able to fly right up to the front pack. Zaluxy closing the gap to Chris. Oh, Hayden with a 10-second penalty speeding into the pit lane to get that wing changed out. Not sure if that was due to other cars coming into the pits at the same time. We don't know. But unfortunately, that's going to add time to either at the end of the race or he will serve it on another pit stop. But I don't think he's going to pit now the rest of the race. So again, Zaluxy hunting down Mr. Chris. This right here is where misjudged the corner and T-boned Mr. Chris. But once again, these two are leading the race. Zaluxy up to P1 on the inside of Mr. Chris. Fair racing there, leaving space. Zaluxy taking the wide way around. keeps that momentum going. Zaluxy. Mr. Chris defending to the inside, letting Zaluxy go past. Not sure if he was trying to break the DRS or if he was trying to get the DRS for this straightaway. Make a move as we come down to turn 1. Mr. Chris going to the inside. Pulls ahead. Heavy braking. Makes the move. Sticks it. Mr. Chris out in front. Oh! What happened there? Not sure if that was a lost control of car, neck coating issue, or what. But he now has front wing damage. That end plate is gone. Zaluxy out in front. Salt P2. Mr. Chris. The broken wing. Now going to have to defend off Dragonflies. And his teammate Dynamic. Stay on board with Mr. Chris. Yeah, as you can see, that end plate is gone. He's going to be losing a lot of downforce in the front. I would be surprised if he doesn't pit this lap to get a new wing. His tires are pretty worn too. Got 35% on his left front, 36 on his left rear. And he stays out. Mr. Chris with the wing damage. And tires that are worn at 36% in the rear. Let's check that out real quick. The average is 34. It's 32 on the right rear, 36 on the left rear. So it averages out to 34, but still. They're cruising right along. Zaluxy saving that battery as she is out in front. Dragonfly is getting a warning for corner cutting. Hayden, fastest lap. 130.888. That should be on a new set of mediums. So now we got Dragonflies hunting down Mr. Chris. Gained a little bit there on the corner. Now gaining on that straightaway. He's being towed down the track by Mr. Chris. Heavy braking from Mr. Chris. One of the byproducts of having a broken wing. He's going to finish out the race, I believe, on this broken wing, so this should be interesting. Salt going to defend against Mr. Chris. Salt heavily braking, slowing down that car, slowing up the rest of the field. Dragonflies ever so gaining on Mr. Chris, but Mr. Chris is on a mission to get past Salt. Everybody making it through turn 10 there. Coming down to the next DRS straight. There goes Zaluxy leading. Mr. Chris being harassed, or Salt being harassed by Mr. Chris. Mr. Chris wants that P2 back badly. Not sure what that little explosion of stuff was back there. Hopefully just a game glitch. Not sure what it was. Because Dragonflies, gets a 3-second penalty for track limits. Everybody else pretty much is rocking 2 warnings, except for Mr. Chris has none, and AO has none, so props to those guys for keeping it clean. Mr. Chris making the move on Salt. Dragonfly is going to stick right with him, try to gain that position. Salt defending hard. They're leaving space, which is great. Mr. Chris up to P2. Salt defending against Dragonflies. Dragonflies gets ahead. Now Dynamic on the outside. More than likely going to try to do an over-under. Oh, Salt taps the backside of Dragonflies. Dynamic takes advantage, gets ahead. Salt is struggling. Those rear tires are screaming at him. 44 on his left rear. Right rear is at 41%. And his front's at 36. So we're right around. Oh, Hayden disqualified from the session, parked dangerously on the track. Looks like he may have had an incident and couldn't get going again. Not sure what happened there. No safety car or virtual safety car. Let's check to see where our gaps are currently. So Zaluxi out front by over 3 seconds. Mr. Chris and Dragonflies, Dynamic and Salt getting very close together. Report was that Hayden actually beached himself, got a little bit wide into the gravel, got the car stuck, couldn't move, so the game automatically disqualified him for not being able to continue racing. So far, everybody's at about even batteries except for Dynamic and Salt. Those guys, very full batteries. Got Dragonflies and Mr. Chris right around 47%. Staying pretty neutral in their consumption. Dynamic and Salt also staying neutral. They are not using battery at all. They're saving it. Nobody seems to be deploying. As we're coming around now, Zaluxi crosses the beam. We're on lap 25 of 29. Dragonflies taking the long way around. On the outside, Mr. Chris makes it stick. Mr. Chris almost getting hit by his teammate. Again, Dynamic and Mr. Chris are going to be working very well together. Like I said in the Discord, they are conversing almost daily on strategy and setups. So they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. Although they already knew that this was a preseason race and they weren't going to do any testing to be ready for it. They were hyper focused on our first round at Coda. Dragonfly is getting a little squirrely coming out of that turn. Coming down the turn 10. Everybody's on very worn tires. Let's actually check tire wear here. Yep, you can see Zaluxi actually has some really worn rears. Gonna be holding on to that. Oh yeah, you can see it's getting very squirrely coming out of the corners. That group in the back battling it out. Got our reservist Dragonflies, followed by Mr. Chris, Dynamic, and Salt. Chris moving up. Dragonflies dropping back. Both Mercedes. Dynamic up to P2, giving the position. Oh, Dragonfly is almost getting sandwiched between the Mercedes. Dynamic no, hits Salt. Losing that grip coming around the corner. Dragonflies still P2. Mr. Chris P3. Dynamic. Looks like he may have damaged that end plate with that collision with Mr. Chris. Yep, that end plate is gone. Gonna be fighting that car the rest of the way. Now it's down to Salt and Mr. Chris. Dynamic 3-second penalty. Speaking of which, Dragonflies does have a 3-second penalty. I almost forgot about that one. He needs to build a 3-second gap to Mr. Chris in order to maintain that position. Mr. Chris coming to the pits. 10-second penalty for speeding the pit lane. Yeah, we saw that. He retired. That was very odd. Sped into the pit lane. It auto disqualified him. Not sure. That might be the same bug that he had in Jeddah, where his car got disqualified for stopping before the pit lane. That was very odd. Anyways, back up to the front here. So Dragonflies and Dynamic both have 3-second penalties. As it stands right now, Dragonflies will lose P2 to Salt, but will not lose P3 to Dynamic because they both have 3-second penalties, and they will both, they're basically racing straight up. Boogie, unfortunately, is 16 seconds behind Dynamic, so he's not going to be able to capitalize on Dynamic's misfortune. Lap 27, about to be lap 28. Zluxy across the line, up in front. Salt and Dragonflies. Salt going for the move. I don't know if Salt knows that Dragonflies has a 3-second penalty. He doesn't need to do this on track, but he chooses to. Got to keep the grip. His rears are screaming. Left rear at 57%, left right at 51%. Putting the power down, trying to get going. Ooh, getting a little squirrely there. I don't know if Dragonfly was able to take advantage of that. Doesn't look like it. Dragonflies is right on the tail. Dragonflies left rear is at 57, whereas the right rear is at 48. Zluxy way out in front. Starting lap 29 of 29. Heavy braking into turn 1. Right now, the closest battle is between Salt and Dragonflies, although Salt doesn't need to be out in front. He can just stay with Dragonflies within 3 seconds, and he's going to get that P2. But he wants to race, and that's what we love to see. Oh, Dragonflies into the boards. Now over 3 seconds behind Salt. Salt going to capitalize by just pulling away, keeping it clean. Let's go with our leader here. Zaluxy coming around out of Sector 2 into Sector 3 on the last lap here. Around the final corner onto the straightaway. Checker flag is waving. And Zaluxy across the line. Followed up by Some Good Salt. Dragonflies sideways across the line. P4. Next up, we got Dynamic. Around the corner comes Boogie and Modern Tide. Modern Tide caught up quite a bit. Modern Tide going into the pits. 10-second penalty for going in. Barreling into the pit lane. We got C9, P7, and last but not least, AO slowly coming across the line. Oh, nope, not yet. And across the line goes AO. That is tonight's race with Some Good Salt as your driver of the day. So Luxy taking that P1. We'll spray the champagne. Should be playing the music, but I have the music turned off. So we're actually going to... So let's get a screenshot of this. That is your results for tonight. Zaluxy P1, Salt P2, Dragonflies P3, Dynamic 4th, Boogie 5th, Modern Tie 6th, C9 P7, AO coming across the line, his last runner P8, Mr. Chris DNF'd going into the pit lane, very similar to what happened in Jeddah, so we gotta figure out what's going on with that. Vans P10, Pixelin retiring out, and Hayden getting disqualified because he got high centered on the track. So that is tonight's session. Again, here's a calendar going forward for season 4. Next weekend, November 3rd, we are at COTA in Austin, Texas as our first round. Everybody's been working hard on that one. Been seeing it in the Discord of everybody testing that out. So it's going to be great. Then we got China the next weekend. And the following weekend is Japan, which is our first sprint race, which should be great. Then we got Spain, and that leads us into a short break for Thanksgiving. Then we're back December 8th in Australia. Then we're in Italy at Monza for another sprint. And then we are off for the holidays. We are taking a very extended break. We're taking off the Sunday before Christmas and the Sunday after Christmas to give everybody an opportunity to spend time with their families. But then come January 5th, we're back at it at Portugal. Then we're hitting the city streets of Monaco, followed up by the long and grueling Spa. After that, we're in Hungary as another sprint. Into February, Singapore, another street circuit, followed up by Qatar as our last sprint of the season, followed by the season finale at Imola on the 16th of February. So thanks everybody for coming out tonight. Apologize for all the glitches and the things we had issues with. If you guys are following me on Twitch, we're going to continue to add some admin stuff there. Otherwise, thank you everybody for coming out tonight, and we will see you next week at CODA. Have a great night, everybody.